In this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan is joined by comedian Jimmy Carr. The conversation begins with Rogan complimenting Carr on his new comedy club in Austin, Texas, which Rogan describes as a phenomenal space. Carr explains that he wanted to create a community for comedians and provide a place for them to perform and connect with other like-minded individuals. They discussed the importance of community in the comedy world and how it can help comedians grow and develop their craft. Carr mentions the Comedy Store in Los Angeles as an example of a place that fostered a strong sense of community among comedians. They also talk about the unique nature of stand-up comedy, where each comedian has their own individual voice and perspective. The conversation then shifts to the current state of comedy and how it has become a valuable form of entertainment in today's society. They discuss how comedy provides a sense of community and allows people to come together and laugh. They also talk about the live experience of comedy and how it is different from watching comedy on TV or online. Rogan and Carr agree that comedy is in a golden age and that it is a unique art form that allows comedians to speak freely about controversial subjects. They discuss the importance of comedy clubs in providing a space for comedians to express themselves and connect with audiences. Carr mentions the idea of teaching stand-up comedy in schools and how it can help young people develop their creativity and find their voice. They also talk about the process of writing and performing comedy. Carr explains that he enjoys the work and the travel that comes with being a comedian. He believes that it is important to embrace all aspects of the job and find gratitude in the opportunities it provides. The conversation takes a turn as they discuss the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Carr mentions that comedian Dick Gregory was the first to expose the Zapruder film, which showed the president being shot from the front. They discussed the various conspiracy theories surrounding Kennedy's assassination and the lack of definitive answers. They continue the conversation by discussing the concept of gratitude and how it can help combat resentment. They agree that it is important to appreciate the opportunities and experiences that come with being a comedian. The conversation continues with a discussion about conspiracy theories and how information is more readily available today compared to the past. They mention the Kennedy assassination and how there would be extensive footage from multiple angles if it happened today. They also touch on the conspiracy surrounding pedophilia in the Catholic Church, with Carr recalling how he heard about it as a child and how it affected his perception of the church. They then delve into the life of Carr Seville, a British television presenter who was later revealed to be a prolific pedophile. Carr shares a story he heard about Seville's connections to high-ranking individuals and speculates on what he may have been doing for the police or Secret Service. They also discuss the conflation of homosexuality and pedophilia, noting that while it is a false association, there were historical reasons for the connection within the Catholic Church. The conversation shifts to the age of consent and the laws surrounding it. They discuss a recent law in California that grants judges discretion in cases involving oral or anal sex with a minor. They debate the merits of such a law and the complexities of age and consent. They then touch on the difficulty of finding one's passion and taking risks. Carr shares his own experience of discovering martial arts and how it helped him realize his own discipline and passion. They discuss the importance of finding one's tribe and surrounding oneself with like-minded individuals who can provide support and guidance. The conversation continues with a discussion on the never-ending nature of tasks and the pursuit of improvement. They emphasize the importance of constantly challenging oneself and seeking growth in one's chosen field. They also touch on the competitive nature of the comedy industry and the need to support and learn from one another. Carr continues by expressing his belief that stand-up comedy is a relatively unexplored territory, likening it to virgin territory. He suggests that there are only a few hundred comedians who have achieved global success, making it a ground floor opportunity for those who pursue it. He emphasizes the value of being the first in a field and the potential for personal growth and fulfillment that comes with it. The conversation then shifts to the concept of human potential and the idea that individuals have the capacity to achieve great things. Carr mentions a book he recently read, The Beginning of Infinity, by David Deutsch, which explores the idea that humanity has the potential to expand and evolve in ways that were previously unimaginable. He sees stand-up comedy as a vehicle for personal development and believes that the skills and perspectives gained from it can be applied to all aspects of life. Carr reveals that he wrote a self-help book based on stand-up comedy, which he describes as a way to share the lessons he has learned and how they have made him a better person. He discusses the core skills of stand-up comedy, such as pattern recognition and verbal dexterity, and how they can be applied to other areas of life. The conversation then turns to the topic of hard work and talent. Carr argues that both talent and hard work are overrated and that individuals should focus on finding their edge or unique skill set. He believes that everyone has something they can do better than anyone else and that this should be the focus of their efforts. They also discuss the importance of gratitude and the value of appreciating what one has. Carr shares his own experience of becoming a father and how it has shifted his perspective on life and success. He emphasizes the importance of taking risks and pursuing one's dreams, while also acknowledging the value of those who work hard in jobs they may not love but that provide for their families. The conversation then delves into the topic of dyslexia, as Carr reveals that he struggled with it as a child. He discusses how he learned to navigate his dyslexia and find ways to succeed academically. He also shares his thoughts on the label of dyslexia and how it can be both helpful and limiting. They then explore the concept of cognitive behavioral therapy and its potential to change one's thought patterns and perspectives. Carr highlights the importance of recognizing and challenging negative thought patterns, such as all-or-nothing thinking and catastrophizing. He believes that changing one's perspective can lead to personal growth and a more positive outlook on life. The conversation continues with a discussion on the medical establishment and the influence of the pharmaceutical industry. Carr expresses his belief that the medical field has been captured by an industry that prioritizes profit over healing. He acknowledges the positive contributions of medicine but also raises concerns about the influence of pharmaceutical companies and the lack of transparency in the industry. The discussion continues with Carr emphasizing the importance of discipline in achieving success. He believes that discipline is necessary to conquer personal demons and overcome challenges. Carr also mentions that many bullies have been victims of abuse themselves, which leads them to impose their pain on others. He expresses sadness over the impact of bullying, which often leads to suicides and ruined lives. The conversation then shifts to the topic of suicide, with Carr and Rogan discussing the lack of perspective that often accompanies suicidal thoughts. They emphasize the temporary nature of problems and the importance of seeking help and support. Carr shares his personal experience of losing a friend to suicide and the devastating impact it had on him. The discussion then delves into the issue of mental health and the difficulty of understanding someone else's perspective. Carr highlights the importance of self-compassion and the negative impact of negative self-talk. He believes that treating oneself with kindness and compassion is crucial for mental well-being. The conversation takes a turn towards drug legalization, with Carr mentioning the example of Portugal. He explains how Portugal legalized all drugs and redirected the funds previously used for the war on drugs towards rehabilitation and education. Carr suggests that America could learn from Portugal's approach and invest in therapeutic methods to address drug addiction and mental health issues. The conversation then touches on the decline of empires and the potential decline of America. Carr offers a different perspective, suggesting that empires don't necessarily fall but transform into something else. He compares the Roman Empire, which he believes became the Church, to the British Empire, which he believes became a bank. Carr expresses his belief that America still has potential and that its best days may be yet to come. The podcast concludes with Carr promoting his upcoming tour and highlighting his comedic style. He encourages listeners to check out his work on Netflix before attending his live shows. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.